عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال بينما نحن جلوس عند النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إذ جاءه رجل فقال يا رسول الله هلكت قال ما لك قال وقعت على امرأتي وأنا صائم وفي رواية أصبت أهلي في رمضان فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم هل تجد ركبة تعتقها قال لا قال فهل تستطيع أن تصوم شهرين متتابعين قال لا قال فهل تجد إطعام 60 مسكينا قال لا قال فمكث النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فبينا نحن على ذلك أتي النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم بعرق فيه تمر والعرق المكتل قال أين السائل قال أنا قال خذ هذا فتصدق به فقال الرجل على أفقر مني يا رسول الله فوالله ما بيننا لابتيها يريد الحرتين أهل بيت أفضلهم من أهل بيتي فضحك النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم حتى بدت أنيابه ثم قال أطعمه أهلك.
This hadith is, what's the ruling regarding the one who has sexual intercourse with his wife في نهار Ramadan, in between Fajr and Al-Maghrib, Salatul Maghrib. What's the ruling? Someone has sexual intercourse with his wife deliberately. What is the ruling? This hadith mentions Abu Hurairah said that بينما نحن جلوس, one day we were sitting عند رسول الله with the messenger, إذ جاءه رجل, a man came, فقال, he said, يا رسول الله, O messenger of Allah, هلكت, I am destroyed. قال, the Prophet then said to him, ما لك, what is it that's happened to you? قال, he said, وقعت على امرأتي, I had sexual intercourse with my wife. وأنا صائم, and I was fasting. In another wording he said, أصبت أهلي في رمضان, I had an intimate relationship with my wife. فقال رسول الله, the messenger said, هل تجد رقبة تعتقها? Do you have a slave in which you can free? قال لا, the man said no. فهل تستطيع, are you able أن تصوم شهرين متتابعين, to fast 2 months consecutively, every day for those 2 months? You're not allowed to miss one day. قال لا, he said, I am not able to do that. فهل تجد إطعام 60 مسكينا? Can you provide for 60 poor? Are you able to give food to 60 poor? قال لا, he said, I can't do that. فمكث النبي, the Prophet remained for a period of time. فبينما نحن على ذلك, as we were sitting like that, أوتي النبي, the messenger was brought, a portion of dates were brought to him, عليه الصلاة والسلام. An amount of date was brought to him. The messenger then said, أين السائل, where is the one who was asking the question? قال أنا, the man said, it's me. قال خذها, the Prophet said, take this. فتصدق به, give this as a sadaqah. فقال الرجل, the man then said, على أفقر مني يا رسول الله, is there anyone more poorer than I am? Is there anyone more poor than I am? فوالله, by Allah, ما بين لابتيها أهل بيت أفقر من أهل بيتي. There is no one more poorer than me than the city of Medina. 2 mountains in between Medina. He's referring to the city. Whole of Medina, I'm the poorest, he said. And he swore by Allah. فوالله, he said, by Allah. فضحك النبي, the messenger laughed. Sallallahu alayhi wasallam. This is the man who had sexual intercourse with his wife. He couldn't do anything. And then the dates were brought. And he was told to give it out. And now he wants to take it. فضحك النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. فضحك رسول الله. The messenger laughed. حتى بدت أنيابه. Until the Prophet's the fourth front, and then after that there's 2, right? The molar teeth. I just thought some might not know what molar means. You don't know what a molar teeth is, right? So first 4, after that, it's called the molar teeth, right? The Prophet laughed until those could be seen. He never ever laughed too much like that, alayhi salatu wasallam. All of his teeth could be counted. He laughed, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. ثم قال, then the messenger said, أطعمه أهلك, give it to your family then. Give this to your family. What is the benefit that we take from the hadith? what is it that we take and the benefit that we take from the hadith? First of all, the man, first benefit, the severity and the great sin in having sexual intercourse with your spouse fi nahari Ramadan, whilst you're fasting. Because look what the man said, halaktu, I am destroyed. And the messenger asked him in another wording, wama ahlakaka, what is it that destroyed you? Meaning the Prophet affirmed that this is the destruction. Are we all together? Having sexual intercourse with your wife is a destruction. It's a destruction. That shows the severity and how severe it is. Second benefit that we take from the hadith is, anyone who has sexual intercourse with his wife, fi nahari Ramadan, while he's fasting, the greatest, agladul kafarat, the greatest form of expiation is upon him. And it's in the following, it's in the sequence that I'm going to mention. It's in these three orders. The first thing that the person has to do is itqu raqaba. You have to free the slave, the neck of a slave. Is this slave a female Muslim or a non-female Muslim? Some scholars, they said the Prophet didn't mention it here. He just said to him, itqu raqaba. And other scholars, they came back and they said, itqu raqabatin mu'mina. It's a believing woman only. Because they took it from all the other kafarat where it's mentioned. Which Allah said in the ayah, لا يؤاخذكم الله باللغو في أيمانكم ولكن يؤاخذكم بما عقدتم الأيمان فكفارته إطعام 10 مساكين من أوسط ما تطعمون أهليكم أو كسوتهم أو تحريره. Okay, not that ayah then. Another ayah where did Allah say, وَمَنْ قَتَلَ مُؤْمِنًا خَطَأً فَتَحْرِيرُ رَقَبَةٍ مُؤْمِنَةٍ وَدِيَةٌ مُسَلَّمَةٌ إِلَى أَهْلِهِ. صح? So they took it from that ayah. They said expiation, all of them are the freeing the neck of a slave, a female woman. The second thing, the second kafara, after, if you can't do this freeing of the slave, the second is you have to fast 2 months consecutively. 2 months consecutively. You're not allowed to break it. When we say you can't, if you say I can't do it, it's because of illness. You have an illness that doesn't allow you. A person can't be like, for 2 months, no, wallahi I can't. That's too much. The idea is to punish you because you did a big crime. What did you do? It's a big crime that you committed. So fast. But he goes, I have an illness that doesn't allow me. I have an illness that doesn't allow me. Okay? Then we'll say, okay, you have a leadway. Go to the third. The third one is 60. You have to feed. How do you feed the 60? Some scholars, they said, every day of Ramadan, you provide for 2 people. How many people? 60, 30 days like that. Or if you want, you can bring all 60 at one time and do it if you want to. Both of them are permissible, as long as you do it. Is it upon the person to bring back the fasting? Does he have to bring back that fasting? We know he has to do this kafara, okay. We know that day is destroyed. But does the person have to bring back that fasting? Or is the kafara enough? Al-Imam al-Shafi'i rahimahullah, he was of the opinion that the messenger didn't command the man to bring that fasting back. He didn't. Are we all together? The messenger didn't. So he doesn't have to bring back that fasting. And this is also the opinion held by Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah. And this is not only restricted to fasting. If a person misses Isha, for example, or Maghrib, or Asr, or Dhuhr, or Fajr, deliberately, they see the time go by, and they deliberately miss it, they're not allowed to bring that prayer back. You can't bring back that prayer. The salah is gone, bye, it's finished. You do not bring that prayer back. What you need to do is you need to come with nawafil, voluntary prayers. A lot of sunnah, a lot of nawafil, a lot of sunan, in hoping that inshallah ta'ala, you know how the 12 rawatib that you pray daily, hoping that would do it for you inshallah ta'ala. Because inna salata kanat ala al-mu'minina kitaban mawquta. Salah has a time where it comes in and it leaves. That time is over. If you say, I'm going to fast and I'm going to pray Dhuhr, Maghrib and Isha another time, you've taken the value of it being in a particular time. Isha doesn't have no time then, innit? Anyone can do whatever they wanted. Are we all together? No. Its time is over now. Just like when things are closed, they're closed. If a shop is closed, it's closed. You can't just say, open it. Also from the hadith, the benefit that we take from it is, the man said, halaktu, I am destroyed. Some of the scholars, they took from this, he said this because he deliberately did it. He knew he wasn't allowed to have sexual intercourse with his wife in fi nahari Ramadan. He was aware of it. Are we all together? Because we already spoke about if he does it, what? Out of forgetfulness, there's nothing upon him. We already spoke about that. But this man said, halaktu, I am destroyed. What does that show? Brothers, pay attention. You have to distinguish two. The person intended the action and the person intended to go against Allah's command. Those are two different things. Intending the action doesn't necessitate kafara. But intending to go against Allah's command is what? Is what necessitates kafara. Because the one who forgot, did he not intend to have intercourse with his wife? Of course he did. But he didn't intend to go against the fasting because he wasn't aware of it was Ramadan. Does that make sense? Okay. The question here is, some scholars, they took from this that the only person who has to give back the kafara is the man and not the woman. Some of the fuqaha, they took that from this. And the reason is because the messenger didn't ask for the woman. The Prophet didn't say to her, where's your wife? She has to do it as well. He didn't say that to her. And scholars responded back to that. They said for two reasons. One response they said is that whatever was said to the man is going to be the same for the woman. It doesn't have to be mentioned for both of them. And that's a good response. Another reason why scholars mentioned that the Prophet didn't mention the woman is because he didn't know what her reason was. Because the man could have forced her. And if she's forced, there's no kafara upon her. If he forces her, he says, I will divorce you. She's like, okay, don't divorce me. And she does it. She is mukrah. She's under duress. And she does it. Nothing is upon her. Nothing is upon her. إِنَّ اللَّهَ تَجَاوَزَ عَنْ أُمَّتِي الْخَطَأُ وَالنِّسْيَانُ وَمَا اسْتُكْرِهَ عَلَيْهِ. That the burden is lifted from the person who is forced to do something. Another benefit that we take from the hadith is you are allowed to swear by Allah's name based on high speculation, even if it's not certainty. High speculation. What did the man say? For wallahi, by Allah, there's no one poorer than me in the city of Medina. How does he know everybody in Medina? Does he know everybody in Medina? Are we all together? The man doesn't know everyone in Medina. He doesn't know it. What did he base it upon? على ما يغلب على ظنه. He based it upon high speculation. High speculation. He looked at his situation and he couldn't fathom anyone like it. Okay? And the messenger didn't say to him, stop. How do you know that? He didn't correct him. Are we all together, brothers? And the fact that the Prophet didn't say anything shows the permissibility. That a person can swear by Allah based on high speculation. Also, we take the benefit from this hadith that if somebody comes to you remorseful, they are remorseful of a sin that they did, they are regretting it, they're like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. That you don't use that as an opportunity to hurt them even more. And say, but you did it, subhanAllah, how did you do it? Like, brother, explain to me. It's impossible. This is evil of you to do it. You are one treacherous person. And you hurt the person even more. He came to you repenting, he came to you regretful. What do you want to do? Score points? In England we call it brownie points. What are you trying to get from this? The person is remorseful. The messenger didn't use that against him because what he wanted from him, which is regret, is already there. Are we all together? And that's one of the conditions of repentance. Also, what we take from this hadith is how the Prophet ﷺ was very generous and kind. That it was a hadiyah. Somebody gave something to the Prophet. It was given to him. And he didn't forget the man. He said, where's the questioner? Come here. You give it out. Use this. That's generosity, that's kindness. We would have said, from the UK, we would have said, every man for himself. That's what we believe. In Europe, in England, in UK, everyone's for himself. No one cares about. Islam teaches us what? That the messenger remembered the man. He said, Aina sa'ilu. Are we all together? Where's the questioner? Also, what we benefit from the hadith is how the Sahabas would sit with the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam to attain knowledge from him and to gain understanding from him and also learn from his manners and his etiquette and the way he carried himself alayhi salatu wasalam. How do we take that from the hadith? We take it from the hadith is بينما نحن جلوس عند النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. One day we were sitting with the Messenger. Why were they sitting? Because something's going to come out of his mouth. He's going to say something. They want to see how he carried himself, how he talked, how he dealt with people. They used to learn from him sallallahu alayhi wasallam. We also take from this hadith is the permissibility of mentioning your sins to someone that you hope will give you a solution to your problem. It is permissible to tell your sins to someone who you hope will give you a solution to your problem. Are we all together? And that it doesn't fall under the hadith of the Messenger, كُلُّ أُمَّتي مُعَافَى إِلَّا الْمُجَاهِرُونَ. That all of my ummah are forgiven except those who speak about their sins openly. It doesn't fall under that hadith. Because that is talking about a people who boastfully talk about their sins. Yeah, you know what I did last night? SubhanAllah, this is the sin I did last night. And he's talking about it out of boastfulness. Are you with me? And I want to mention here sometimes, some people they come into Islam. What do they become? They become Muslims. And they want to talk about their past and what they did. Okay, and they want to talk about it. And sometimes it may come across, you're talking about your glory days. Like it was the fun days in my life that I went through. And sometimes it can come across glorifying it to the Muslims and glorifying it to the people. Are we all together, brothers? I'll give you an example. If somebody before Islam murdered someone, would he tell? Would he talk about it? Would you talk about somebody you murdered before Islam? Would you say, before I became a Muslim, there was a couple of people I murdered? Would you say that? No, you conceal that. So why would you talk about zina that you did before Islam or the khamr that you drank before Islam? Why would you boast about that? At the end of the day, it's a sin. It's a sin. So a person should avoid that. Like if you have a problem, you are doing something haram, and you want help, you need support, somebody to guide you to the best of ways, Shar'an is permissible for you to ask advice from that person. And put it towards them, inshallah ta'ala. What benefit number are we on? Yeah? The next benefit, the last benefit that we get from this hadith is the permissibility of using al-kinaya, indirect, in things that it's not nice to talk about. That you don't use vulgar statements, but that you use subliminary messages. You say indirect. Like for example, the companion, what did he say? The companion said, "Asabtu ahli fi Ramadan." He used the word asabtu. I had intimacy with my family. Waqa'atu, he said. Waqa'atu actually means in the Arabic language, I fell on my wife. It means intimacy here. It didn't mean he tripped over her. It means intimacy. The words that he's using here are very modest words. And some people, subhanAllah, when they want to talk about sins, they are known to use vulgar statements. They want to guide people and they will say, instead of using general terms like brothers, fear Allah, don't do haram, stay away from following your desires. A lot of things can fall under that. He will say the sin by name and he will describe it. That's not how our religion is. Use subliminary. Say it package it in a right way. And all of these brothers, the more you study the Prophet's statements and the hadith of the Prophet, and you see how the companions used to talk to the Prophet, you learn all of that. You learn all of that. We have 5 minutes left, taqreeban. I'm going to, inshallah ta'ala, stop for now here. And we were meant to do how many? 16 today, and I think we've done 7, right? So how much do we have left? How many do we have left? We have 25 left tomorrow. Make dua for us, inshallah ta'ala. I'm going to take Q&A right now. Question and answers from the floor. I would like your questions to be to what we took today. Don't ask me i'tikaf. Don't ask me qiyamul layl, laylatul qadr, when is it? Don't ask me what's going to come. Okay? Just ask me what you haven't understood from what I've mentioned, inshallah ta'ala. And of course, don't go off topic. Don't ask me other questions. Also, tomorrow, there could be a possibility that the day after is going to be Ramadan, right? It could happen, right? That Sunday could be Ramadan, right? So, there's a possibility. So tomorrow, some of you guys want to get ready for what? You want to get ready for Taraweeh and things like that, right? It's going to be prayed, right? The night before. If it's announced, right? No, not tomorrow. But suhoor, you want to get it ready for it and whatnot, sah? Or you want to go back to your households and spend time with your family before Ramadan starts. So we will cut short tomorrow. But that means, brothers and sisters, if you can come 6 o'clock sharp. 6 sharp, the class starts, and we go to 8 o'clock. I want to finish all of it within those 2 hours, inshallah ta'ala. Remember, there's salah in there. I will kindly request, if you could pray only the Maghrib Sunnah. Sah? The Maghrib Sunnah. As for Isha, if we can get some time after it, if we don't finish, pray at home. So we can just start the class straight away, okay? The Sunnah is better to pray at home anyways, Isha. Take it home. So we can start the class straight away, because it will be very good for us to finish the whole chapter. Let's just take one opinion, which is that the hadith, when it said adhan, what was it referring to? Yeah? It's referring from the second adhan to where? To the iqamah, which is Fajr. Faddal. Yes. If a person the brother asked, if somebody puts something in their mouth and before they could swallow it, they remembered that they are fasting, of course they have to stop it. And because you're not allowed to eat now. You're not allowed to eat. As a side point, I wanted to mention that what some people do is, if they see someone eating, they say, leave him alone. Allah is providing for him. Rizqum saqahu Allahu ilayh. This is Allah is bringing him food. No. Stop him. من رأى منكم منكرا فليغيره بيده فإن لم يستطع فبلسانه فإن لم يستطع فبقلبه وذلك أضعف الإيمان. Him eating in Ramadan is a munkar. You see a munkar, you have to stop it. He might not like you, but هكذا.
The person is having suhoor and he hears the adhan, so does he have the time until the adhan is getting over, or the food he's having, he can complete the food like I've heard it before?
Inshallah ta'ala, if the adhan, if the salah time finishes and you have suhoor, the salah time's coming in, the iqamah is happening, and you have the food in your hand, are we all together? And you have food in your mouth, you can take them both, inshallah. You can take what's in your hand and what's in your mouth. Swallow that and take what's in your hand. And if what's in your plate is very, very little, you can also take that. I don't want to go in more details. There's difference of opinion, that's the strongest, inshallah ta'ala.
So the end of the suhoor is the adhan or the iqamah of the fajr?
Iqamah of fajr. Naam. Faddal. If you're forced to break the fast, as in what reason? Or if somebody stops you from fasting and you can't fast, If anyone who's been put under duress, he has been forced, he has no choice, Allah won't hold him account for it. There's no sin upon them. Are we all together? If he's been forced, for example, some places in the world, they force you, they tell you, eat. Eat. And the person is forced to eat. Are we all together? That's nothing upon him. But when he walks away, what does he do? He carries on his fasting. Are we all together? What does he do? He carries on his fasting. He doesn't say, oh, well, we'll stop from it. No.
So I just need to clarify this Fajr point again. So like, let's say Ramadan is on Monday and I'm in here and 4:18, 4:19, the Imam does the Adhan. The Iqamah will come about 20, 25 minutes after. In that 20, 25 minutes I can eat.
You can eat. Sorry, Adhan?
Yeah, the Adhan, because you said the Adhan between Adhan and Iqamah.
Ha.
So the Adhan would come at 4:19.
4:19.
He'll make the Adhan.
Uh-huh.
Then 25 minutes later he'll make Iqamah.
Ha.
Start praying.
Ha.
In that 25 minutes can I eat? So you're saying the Adhan of the Fajr when he's waking me up like 1 hour before till because no, but like
you guys, I understand.
okay, I'll make it very clear. Generally, what happens is at like 3 something there'll be an Adhan. Wake everyone up.
There's the first Adhan.
First Adhan. This I understand I can eat in this time between that Adhan and this Adhan at 4:19. But my understanding was once he makes Adhan at 4:19, I need to stop eating because Fajr is coming at that time. That's the second Adhan.
How long is Fajr between? 25 minutes between what?
Between the second Adhan and the Iqamah, there's 25 minutes. This is for people to come to the masjid or whatever it's for, but Fajr comes at 4:19.
25 minutes is Fajr. 25 minutes is between Adhan and the Iqamah. I'll answer that tomorrow, inshallah. Father, I'll answer that question tomorrow.
They have an imsak time before the azan, they 5 minutes before that stop.
Yeah, 10 minutes before they stop it, normally. They actually ask us to stop 10 minutes before the second adhan.
Can I, repeat the question, hey?
Okay, so
No, I don't want to hear you. But the question you asked, I have to say it somewhere here. Yeah, so the question is that, no, I'll answer it tomorrow. Don't worry, they don't need to that question. I'll answer it tomorrow. Yeah, if you're sick, you don't have to fast anyways. If you're sick that you have to take medicine, you don't fast. Of course. Yes. The substance that you take, anything that goes into your system that gives you any energy, also takes the same ruling as food. So some people might take a jab and it gives them glucose. They don't need to eat forever. They can just always put something into their system that gives them exactly what food gives them. No, if you're sick, you don't fast, aslan. There's no fasting upon you. The sickness is two types. The person has a terminal illness where there's no hope to come back. The person has diabetes for like all of their life. This person, they don't ever fast and all they do is kafara. The second type of illness is temporary illness, where the person gets sick in Ramadan for a period of time. This person doesn't have to do kafara. They just have to bring it back. Does that make sense? No. Last question. Last question. Who do I like to hear their question? Fadal. Hamad. So the question here is, a person's missed some fasting from last year, what do they do? We're going to mention inshallah ta'ala, it's one of the hadiths that's coming up, where Aisha used to say that I used to not fast the Ramadan that I missed until Sha'ban came. I would hold it to Sha'ban, and she would fast in this month. She would pay it back. So I want to mention some fiqh on that issue tomorrow, which he fasted 6 days of Shawwal. Yes, she would. And what about the outstanding days of Ramadan? She would bring that back later. And are you with me, brothers? But if Ramadan comes and you haven't brought back the other Ramadan, then it just piles up. It becomes more for you to fast after Ramadan. It's a debt that you have to pay back before you die. And then if you don't pay it back, who does it go back to? We're going to be discussing it inshallah ta'ala.